Women's Super League survival is the name of the game here today, and it's Liverpool in all red who get the match underway, defending the goal away to our right. For so long they were looking up at everybody else, but Leicester City have gradually fallen away and Liverpool have taken advantage. Jenna Scalacci is alongside me for this game, and Leicester have got to find something from somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you touched on that. Liverpool for so long have been rooted at the bottom, and I think the January window, the recruitment that they've done there has been absolutely excellent, and it's added that depth, it's added that experience for the business end of the season for games like today. And Leicester, I mean, they need some points, they need some confidence in them. I think for Leicester, they've had obviously the international break to try and get some momentum and confidence.
An opportunity there for Hannah Kane, but she was quickly closed down. Now the break from Mailing down the right-hand side. The clearance doesn't really get the distance, and in the end the shot is swept wide by McLaughlin.
Yeah, good pressure early on. I think that's the kind of start that Leicester needed on the front foot. Get touches on the ball, get players higher up the pitch. You can see there, pressure on the ball on the defender and get the shot off target, but it's a positive start.
Emily Van Egmond scored the only goal when these two sides met in the second week of the season, but she is away with Australia at the Asian Cup. Liverpool also missing Risa Shimazu and Fuka Nagano. Australia will play in the semi-finals against China, and Japan will face South Korea after a 7-0 win against the Philippines earlier on today, so Liverpool won't be getting their players back in the short term. And the same goes for Leicester as well. Ala. Now Mailing, but it's cut out by Fisk. Leicester have had a long time to think about that 6-0 defeat against Manchester City. In the meantime, Liverpool have beaten Everton here 2-1 in the Women's FA Cup, which was another step in the right direction for them.
Definitely, they've got that confidence now, that momentum, and I think for Liverpool, they almost didn't want that break to come. They wanted to kick on, but it's a huge game here to come into off the back of an international break. You know, no team can afford not to hit the ground running here today because they've got to throw everything off at it. Leicester for sure need some points on the board, and Liverpool will be looking just to get a bit of breathing space at the bottom of the table.
Both these sides would be keen for others to become involved, but they both need to be winning on a regular basis themselves, as Enderby delivers the cross into the penalty area, but that's blocked. But Liverpool do have the throw-in. West Ham United are, of course, fairly close to Liverpool. Aston Villa, though, and Everton have pulled away in recent weeks, and at the moment the onus, though, is on Leicester City to start picking up points themselves and try and create more of a relegation battle. Holland. Now Thomas.
I think it's key for Leicester as well that they're picking up the points from those teams in and around them, stealing those points, and as you say, trying to drag others back into it.
Both these teams with only 2 victories apiece so far this season, but 9 of Liverpool's 10 points have come at home. Manchester City, the last winners here, and that was back on October the 12th. 2 wins and 3 draws since. And they're looking to equal their club record today of 6 matches unbeaten at home in the Women's Super League. And that goes back to 2013-2014 when Liverpool won the title. Thomas unable to gather there. Now Mailing. Well, that's a good challenge. And Kerry Holland is so good at that. And she's got options ahead of her, but she may look to go alone. Well, that would have been some goal.
Well, what an effort. It was Malin who was caught in two minds high up the pitch, and Holland, she does it so well, the energy in the press, and then just direct, just driving with the ball, excellent, carrying the ball, little touch in field, just wide of the post, but excellent from Holland. And Malin there can't afford to get caught in possession against Holland because she's so direct of the player. She's got that turn of pace. She's just shown there what she can do.
Well, she's yet to score in the Women's Super League this season, but she has been providing key assists. She almost provided an outstanding individual goal there. Once again, Hannah Kane was looking to make that run in behind. Williams unable to win it back, and then a solid challenge from McLean. No free kick given. Holland looking to take on Malin, and in the end, Holland has been penalised for handball.
Yeah, she feels hard done by there. You see the minute the ball's at Holland's feet again against Malin, she's happy. She knows she can get the better of her there. This time Malin staying strong.
And it's a free kick for Leicester. And already Rick Passmore is out on the edge of the technical area. They too had a busy January, but they've not really seen the impact yet, have they?
They haven't at all, and I think even looking at their bench today, in such a huge game, they can only name 5 outfield players, you know, and there's not a lot of experience there on that bench. I think you've got Mushin who can come on and make a difference, but at this stage of the season, you need to tap into every bit of your squad, and unfortunately for such a huge game today, they're unable to field a full bench.
Olivia Clark, the goalkeeper who started the previous game, was injured playing for Wales during the break. Zara Keese also picked up a knock with Belgium. And Chantal Swaby only fit enough for the bench. And there could be another problem here. And it was certainly a strong challenge on Hannah Kane. No free kick was given as the rain gets even harder.
She looks like she was just touching the top of her boot, maybe a stud on the top of the boot. They're always painful ones, but I'm sure she'll be running that off in no time and back on the pitch.
She scored 3 times for Wales in the World Cup qualifiers. She's another player who hasn't scored a goal in the WSL so far this season, but neither has anyone else for Leicester really, because they've only scored 8 times in total.
Yeah, I mean, that's been their downfall, hasn't it? They've lacked that creativity, that out-and-out goal score, and have really struggled in front of goal. I think defensively at times they set up to frustrate teams, but at the other end of the pitch, it just hasn't clicked.
Hannah Kane is back on the field, looking to challenge there, but here is Capox. Now Parry. She's another player who has had injury problems this season, but gets the opportunity today with Shimazu away on international duty. Thomas. And that's won back well by McLaughlin. Rachel Williams was involved, and she was hobbling around a bit during the warm-up as well, and she was having words with Rick Passmore, but seems to have shaken off any problems she had.
Well, we were talking off air, weren't we, about Rachel Williams. It's going to take more than a knock to get her off the pitch. She's a tough cookie, and they're going to need that experience that she brings for this, you know, this business end of the season now.
Gareth Taylor has a very different environment here to the one he experienced for 5 years at Manchester City, when it was all about challenging. Here it's been about transition and consolidation this season, although Liverpool are still in the Women's FA Cup. They've got a quarter-final against Charlton coming up. Here is Capox. And now Swaby, and the ball into the penalty area, finished by Olsen. And a brilliant Liverpool goal on the counter-attack. And Beata Olsen back in the starting lineup today. Is back amongst the goals in the Women's Super League. Just the start that Gareth Taylor was looking for.
Yeah, good Counter-attack here. Kapos starts it, finds the feet of Enderby, and first time cross into the 6-yard box. Leipzig comes, she needs to do better there, but Olsen there. First start in so long. Simple finish in the end. Leipzig's got to do better. A great counter-attack from Liverpool.
It's her first start since mid-December, and she came on to replace Mia Enderby and scored against Everton in the Women's FA Cup. And she benefits from an assist from her there.
Yeah, it was a perfect weighted pass from Enderby out on the right-hand side, who takes it first time. She gets her head up, she spots the run of Olsen. Leipzig there, you've got to come out and demand that 6-yard box. She doesn't, and Leicester are 1-0 down.
And Leicester have not come from behind to win in the Women's Super League since they beat Liverpool in January of last year. And they've only scored one first-half goal so far this season. And they failed to score more than once in any game. And that really is the root of their problems.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst possible start there for Leicester. I think it's important now that they gather themselves. They stay in this game now. They've got to stay in. They can't afford to concede another goal so quickly after. They've got to get back focused to their game plan.
This game is going with form so far. Bernabé, and she's won the throw-in. Liverpool have won 4 of their last 6 games in all competitions after only 4 wins in the previous 23. Fisk. And they've got pace in behind again, and it's Olsen. And it was just behind Thomas.
Wrong decision there from Olsen. Thomas had made the run into the penalty box. Olsen choosing for the cutback, but it falls to nobody. Unselfish play. I thought it could have actually been on for her to take a touch and get a shot off herself.
Well, she's now into double figures this season, which is a pretty good effort in a struggling team. Fisk.
Again, that was too easy for Liverpool to break down. This time they went over the top of the defence, almost route one.
Gareth Taylor has picked such an attacking lineup with Olsen, Enderby and Thomas all up there. And he sacrificed some security in midfield, and at the moment it's working for them. Kirsty McLean is basically there as the midfield.
Yeah, I think obviously when Taylor was setting up for today, he's looking at a Leicester team who haven't caused much threat at all this season to any team. So I think it's quite a clever decision to sacrifice that security across the back line and add to the attack. And so far it's paid off.
Well, Liverpool with 3/4 of the ball so far. And the opening goal scored by Beate Olsen. At the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Everton lead by a 1-0 against Spurs. Nicole Mamiki has scored there. Of course, Tottenham scoring 7 at Aston Villa. And they'll be hoping that they didn't pack all their goals into one game. Neville, former Spurs player, scored an own goal on her Leicester debut against Tottenham. And she's forced all the way back there. And Thibaut going long, looking for Kane, but it's a pretty thankless task.
Yeah, I think Leicester are so deep in their own half, there is no outlet. The Liverpool line are very high, that they can be. Forcing Leicester back into their own half. There's no outlet for them at all. I think for Leicester, they've got to find some piece of quality. They've got to be brave and go for it. You know, this is a game where they need the 3 points.
Well, Liverpool have lost 11 points from winning positions this season. But Leicester have conceded the opening goal 12 times and only picked up 2 draws. Janina Leitzing had no chance with the opening goal. Ale going back to the German now. When you look through the Leicester team, they've got players with decent CVs in some areas.
They do, and similar to Liverpool, they recruited some experience in that January window. Obviously, Ashley Neville, Malin, you got Williams up there who's done everything in the women's game. But it's just not clicking. They needed more, and they're in a really difficult spot. And I guess when you're struggling at the foot of the table and things aren't going your way, it's a difficult hole to get out of. And I think that final third, that lack of quality, that lack of spark, that final pass, that final decision just hasn't been there. And I think when you see the way they've conceded so early on today, it's almost a really difficult task they've set themselves up for.
Enderby. Good challenge by Neville. Now Williams. It's quickly won back. There's a real eagerness from Liverpool, and it was the goal scorer Olsen who robbed Tierney there. McLean. Enderby. Thomas was waiting. But now Lehmann. Olivia Smith, former Liverpool player, has scored for Arsenal. They lead against London City Lionesses at the Den. Williams. And Ale going back to Leitzing.
Leicester, just when they've got the ball, they're really struggling to get out of their defensive third, and I think that's down to Liverpool. Out of possession, are working really hard in that midfield area to put pressure on Leicester.
So often in the past, Leicester have won this sort of game, and it's been enough to keep them up, beating the likes of Birmingham City and Crystal Palace in recent years, taking points against teams in the lower reaches. But it's going to be tough if they lose this one, looking at the run-in.
Yeah, and I think in past seasons you haven't had teams like London City coming up and investing so much money in such talented players. So almost relying on the team to come up to go straight back down is a thing of the past now. So yeah, I think they've always flirted with the relegation battle, haven't they? And unfortunately, I think as a club you look at yourselves, and obviously the men's side going down hasn't helped them, and that investment has probably taken a knock, and I think as a result of that they find themselves in the position they do today.
Of course, it's not automatic relegation for the team that finishes bottom of the Women's Super League. It would be a playoff against the third place team in WSL 2 away from home. Of course, that could be a very tough race as well. Crystal Palace are the team who are currently third in the table behind Charlton and Birmingham, but Newcastle only a point behind. Bristol City and Southampton could also have a say. But now Lehmann, an opportunity here. Kane waits in the centre. Lehmann may look to go alone, but in the end it's Clark who steps in to clear.
Clark does well there. Just carries on her run, recovering, doubling up on Lehmann there. But good move. Started from Ashley Neville out left back to find Lehmann, and here you see she's just trying to tease Enderby. Gets past her, and Jenna Clark comes. Makes the clearance, makes no mistake.
Neville with the throw-in into the former Spurs teammate Williams, who battles away there and will ensure that Leicester have the game's first corner.
Using her strength, using her body, Rachel Williams. She's so good at holding up the play, and you know, it might be that Leicester have to rely on things like set pieces to cause a threat So they want to take their time with this, make sure they set up well.
Well, they've not scored a single goal from a corner so far this season. They will hope to change that here. Tierney plays it short, and it's driven in from the angle. Appeals for handball, but Megan Wilson is unmoved. McLaughlin. Neville is forward. O'Brien in space to the right. Williams, though, looks to the left. And Lehmann, but it's cut out by Enderby. And Enderby may look to lead the counter-attack here. Olsen in the centre. But she just overruns it.
I think it's in those moments there where Leicester are high up the pitch. They've got the bodies up. That quality in the pass from Rachel Williams needs to be so much better. Enderby read it really well.
It's another look at the potential handball. It was driven in, and it was Capox, the player who was involved.
It was drilled, wasn't it? At some speed, from what I could see there. Capox had her arms down by her side there.
O'Brien. And she put Mailing under pressure, but she did well. Arla. Holland leaping with Williams, and Williams left something on her. It will be a free kick.
That's two players there that neither one of them are going to pull out of that challenge. The bouncing ball just took a bit of impact in the back, I think, there.
Kerry Holland will just take a moment. Rachel Williams, one of the Women's Super League originals, played in the first season. Got 14 goals in 14 games for Birmingham. And that was her best scoring season at the highest level. She's not scored a goal in this competition for a couple of years, but it doesn't diminish her impact on games, particularly when she came on at Manchester United, just adding that experience. Now Lehmann in pursuit, but she was outnumbered there. Parry and Clark are able to deal with that for Liverpool.
Yeah, Clark, Parry excellent there. Just covering round, protecting her teammate, sweeping up across the back line. As Lehmann, she does have that pace, but Parry does enough there, just holding her. And then the recovery comes from Clark.
Kerry Holland leaping away from, or limping away from a challenge once again. Mailing will take the throw in. Arla. Liverpool again continuing to press very high up the field. It's nicely done by McLaughlin. Now Mailing, straight to Fisk. And Olsen doing well to win that ahead of McLaughlin. McLean, and there could be space here for Capox. Enderby away to her right. Now Enderby will try and take on Neville. Liverpool will be patient.
Yeah, Neville does well there, just to hold up Enderby. She doesn't dive in, just delays the play, allows her teammates to come back, and done her job, forced Enderby to play backwards.
Banabi. Oh, and O'Brien with a missed kick there. And in the end, a corner kick has been conceded by Mailing. Under pressure from Bernabé. And Leicester can't afford to concede a second goal here, or things could get very ugly for them.
Liverpool set pieces, they've got a lot of threat there. You've got Jenna Clark there on the line, such presence. Olsen, we've already seen what she can do. Holland can get a good delivery in there. There's definitely a lot of red shirts queuing up.
Holland goes very deep, but it's guided away, but Parry will recover this. Neville will try and get out to her, but the cross is high, but Leicester with safe hands. And she quickly finds Kane. And towards McLaughlin, and then Kane hits it. It takes a deflection, but the sting is also taken out of the shot as well, and it will spin through towards Jennifer Falk.
McLaughlin there just holding up the ball, takes a knock into the back, and here you see Hannah Kane deflected off Clark. I think there in those moments, Hannah Kane, that's where she's effective. When they're trying to play out, she's the target player. She's got that quality to hold the ball up, to find the pass. Jenna Clark again in the right place at the right time for her team.
Rick Passmore taking the opportunity to call over his team and maybe make 1 or 2 points. Coach of vast experience, previously in charge of Leeds and Notts County, and he was an assistant at West Ham. And I think throughout his time at Leicester, he's been under no illusions about how difficult the job is.
Absolutely, and you know, in the WSL there's absolutely no easy game. You can't rely on playing against a team and points are guaranteed, and I think given how short the league is, the games come thick and fast, and they're starting to run out of games now.
That was the challenge on McLaughlin. It may have actually been the collision with the second Liverpool player who came in rather than the initial contact. But every game away from home was a difficult game for Leicester. 23 matches without a victory on the road in the Women's Super League. And their last win came on Merseyside at Everton over 2 years ago. McLaughlin okay to come back on. Here is Fisk. Bernabei is chasing, but Leipzig got there first.
Nearly sneaked through there. Leipzig, good starting position. She had to come out. It was a good ball caught in between the goalkeeper and the defender.
Alejandra Bernabei, a player who had to come back from a long-term injury to play a part this season, the former Chelsea player. Parry. And injuries were certainly a factor for Gareth Taylor and Liverpool in the first half of the season. He could rarely have a settled starting 11 out on the field. Capox. There is Neville, all straight to Enderby, and Enderby is away from her, and the cross is too deep.
Done well there initially, Enderby, great footwork. Jinks past Neville, gets the ball in, but the ball's just too heavy at the back post.
Bernabei. Holland. That's an interesting ball which has flicked on and not too far wide. I think Leipzig had it covered.
Yeah, it was a clever header from Olsen, creative. You see Holland just getting the cross in, and there it is. Just trying to get a little deft touch. Good creativity.
You can see there the Liverpool players right on the edge of the area, Olsen and Capox, ready to pounce as soon as Leipzig tried to play that short, which is why she went longer. But here is Clark. Capox turning away from the challenge. She was being held there initially. And the free kick will be given. The foul by McLaughlin.
Definitely a foul. Jenna Clark excellent there, and great feet. And Capos does really well to evade the defender. She tries to stay on her feet. Now this is a really dangerous position for Leicester to defend. Out of possession, Liverpool have been excellent. You see Jenna Clark again there, just reading the game so well, not allowing Leicester to get out of their own half.
It's a free kick which Kerry Holland is over. And the yellow card was shown to Olivia McLaughlin there as well. Fisk and Clark are both forward here at the far post. Flighted in by Holland. And it's Williams with the header away. And a second time. And a third time. Well, that's typical of Rachel Williams. And then she finds McLaughlin, but he's quickly cleared and covered by McLean on the halfway line.
Williams doing her defensive duties first. And again, you see her there. 50-50 ball, she's never going to pull out of it, and more often than not her opponent ends up on the floor. She's a powerful physical player.
Rachel Williams, born in Leicester. She's looking to score today for her 6th different club in the Women's Super League. Lehman, that's been cut out. Leicester are giving the ball away far too often in the midfield area. Bernabé. Now Holland coming in field. Malin will have to make the challenge. She doesn't. Holland hits it. It takes a deflection. Good save by Leipzig. It's still loose though. Enderby. Back to McLean. And the shot's too high, but Janina Leipzig keeping Leicester afloat there.
What a save that was from Leipzig. It was almost bouncing up. Excellent play initially from Holland, just dinks it past Malin infield, one touch, gets the shot off, and the deflection. Leipzig wasn't expecting it, but she adapted, adjusted her body and got a really strong hand to it. That is an unbelievable save. Follow-up goes over the bar, but here we'll see it at a different angle. Oh, that's the one that went over the bar, but that was a big save from Leipzig.
Liverpool at the moment creating all of the clear-cut opportunities in the game. But only one shot on target so far, and that was the goal scored by Beate Olsen in the 10th minute. Holland. And now Fisk. Bernabé getting forward now more and more for Liverpool the longer the first half goes on. But it's O'Brien looking to force her back. McLaughlin, tenacious play from her. And now Malin. Ale. Well seen by Clark. Holland. And again, Malin could have a problem here. McLean, good feet from her. Thomas, and it's wide.
Just drags it, never really gets hold of it. Thomas there, just at the top of the D, edge of the box. But again, fantastic play. Really patient build-up play, Holland there. Great feet to find Martha Thomas, and then there you see, just drags it. Lots of bodies in front of her, but again, really good play in that attacking third, in that final third from Liverpool.
Well, it's one-way traffic, but Liverpool do need the second goal.
Absolutely, I think that's the thing that Taylor will probably be most frustrated about of this first half. They've definitely created a lot of chances. It's just that final product. Sherry Holland being at the heart of everything at the moment down this left-hand side.
The problem for Leicester is they're so deep when they are defending that when they do break forward, it's hard work for Kane and Williams to get forward.
It is. The gaps between the, Kane and the midfields are huge.
But it's been given away there. One back by Williams, and Lehman hits it. But it's over the top, but it was a chance.
It was, and those are the chances that you've got to take more out of Lehmann there. I think she almost gets under it too much. Bit of hesitation there. Maybe too relaxed from McLaughlin, and Lehmann here drives in between the two Liverpool players and then's always leaning back. But these are the moments here that Leicester have got to be better at. They're not going to create a lot of chances, but when they do, they've got to be better.
Alicia Lehmann scored for Switzerland against Malta during the international break. Back in the WSL after a spell in Italy with Como. And it was the sort of high-profile signing that Leicester looked as though they needed to make in January, but so far they've not been able to gain a point in the calendar year. They've had some tough games, admittedly. And they've got a home game with one of Lehmann's former clubs, Aston Villa, coming up next week.
Yeah, another huge game for them in terms of getting those points from the teams in and around them. Like you say, the signings that came in January, it's just not really clicked for them. Difficult situation for these players to come in and try and turn it around.
Enderby again working hard, and Ashley Neville is not enjoying that confrontation at the moment.
I think Enderby and Holland are having a lot of joy out in those wide areas, in those 1v1s. Enderby against Neville and Holland against Malin. At the moment, Enderby and Holland are coming out on top every time.
Clark. Now McLean. Well, back well by Neville. Julie Thibault is forced all the way back to Leipzig once again. Thibault, a French international in this Leicester team. Zale has been fouled and it will be a free kick. But Beata Olsen has been really busy alongside the goal she scored.
She has, I think, on the ball she's been excellent, but for me, I think what's standing out from every player, attacking player for Liverpool, is their off-ball, you know, the work rate off the ball to win the ball back, to make it difficult, to force Leicester to play sideways or backwards has been excellent. And Olsen, as you say, she's slipped back into this team like she's never left and been really effective on and off the ball.
And does that come with confidence? Because if you are winning games and heading in the right direction, maybe players are a bit more eager to work harder, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
absolutely. It comes with that confidence, that momentum off the back of the good run they had before the international break. I've been in teams, you know, periods where you're really struggling to get points, you're really struggling to score goals, and it feels like everything you do is going against you. And it is in those moments that if you don't have the confidence and the belief to you know, play the way your manager is setting you up, it's so difficult. And I think what we've seen here with Liverpool, they're not scared. They don't look scared. They're being brave. They're committing the bodies forward. I think their starting lineup has been fantastic in terms of, we mentioned earlier that they've gone attacking heavy, and it's paying off. And I think here you see Jenna Clark. I think she's been fantastic, stepping out of defence all of the first half, not allowing Rachel Williams any time on the ball at all. She's reading the game very well, and yeah, that comes from confidence.
Well, Leicester have a throw in which Neville takes as we head towards half-time. Liverpool have had the better opportunities, but they're yet to build on the goal from Beata Olsen.
Lehmann there out on the left-hand side, almost forcing the ball forward. The sea of red shirts where Leicester have been defending so much. Those forward players are isolated. They've just got to recognise that, hold the ball up a little bit longer, allow their teammates to join the attack.
And frustration there from Sarah Mayling as she kicks the ball away, having been flagged offside. Kerry Holland remains a key player for Liverpool. And she could go above Natasha Dowie and Alex Greenwood on Liverpool's assist list in the Women's Super League today. And although she's not scored a league goal this season, all three of her assists have been involved in goals which have put Liverpool 1-0 up, which shows her importance to a team which has been lacking goals and points, although they've now scored twice as many as Leicester, but maybe that's not saying too much. And Leicester at risk of joining Yeovil and Doncaster as teams in the Women's Super League who have failed to score more than once in any game this season.
Just never really got going in the final third today. I think probably sums up Leicester's struggles.
But it's only 1-0, of course, as Williams looks to pick out the run, but again it's cut out. But I should say the conditions as well are pretty awful to try and play any sort of constructive football.
Yeah, it's almost like that last ball is always rushed. There's almost a sense of panic in the final third for Leicester, rather than Rachel Williams, there, an experienced player. You wanted to put her foot on the ball, get her head up and find the pass. She doesn't.
It's all the way back to Jennifer Falk, who has barely been involved. The Swedish international scored a very lucky or unlucky own goal against Everton in the FA Cup. And the ball cannoned off her and the post twice before creeping over the line. But she's been a good signing on loan from Häcken, the Swedish champions. Fisk. And Liverpool have really rebuilt the spine of their team during the transfer window. And it can go one of two ways, can't it, when you bring in so many players?
Yeah, and I think Gareth Taylor's got it spot on. I know I've spoke about the recruitment a lot, but it's been key to this run of form that they've got, and they've still got top players to come back that they're missing from those injuries that they got early on in this season. So I think their squad depth, you know, looking at the two squads today, is miles ahead of Leicester's, and that investment and, you know, having Olsen back in the team at the business end of the season is so key for Liverpool.
Leicester unable to fill their bench, such are their lack of resources. The rain's getting heavier as Williams tries to feed it through to Lehmann. Once again, Williams is coming into a deeper role to try and link the play together. Now she wins it back from Capox. Mailing. O'Brien. That's a good ball. Kane. Lehmann waits at the far post. And there is Lehmann. And the flick doesn't quite come off.
Yeah, it was a cheeky one there. Lehmann makes the run into the near post. Little flick. Nearly keeps Falk off guard. There you see Kane. She keeps it in, gets her hips around it. And that's all Lehmann could do in that situation. It was a good effort. Falk was wise to hit the near post.
Falk going long this time. But Liverpool will have the throw-in. And we're in the final minute of normal time in the first half. That's a good turn from Olsen initially. But Arla did well there.
It just stood her up. Almost smothered her. Stop that attack.
Just look at that. supposed to be heading towards British summertime in the UK fairly soon. And there'll be a minimum of 4 added minutes.
I think we had our 1 day of summer.
Well, it's due to warm up in the UK next week. And it's also Mothering Sunday here today, and it's a rather damp one for those watching this game.
I think when you're playing in conditions like this, all you need is one opportunity. For Leicester, you know, a Rachel Williams opportunity on the edge of the box. You take the hit because the conditions are it's so wet, so slippery. Mistakes happen in conditions like this.
Holland. Good challenge from Tierney. Leicester beginning to move the ball around with a bit more confidence now as we head towards half-time.
I think they'll take confidence from that Lehmann chance. You know, it's come just before half-time. Had that gone in, they could have needed that, but they'll take confidence from that. Look a little bit more comfortable on the ball going forwards.
Neville. Oh, there's a miss kick. And Clark got away with that one.
So I was talking about the conditions. It's so slippery on that surface. It's just whizzed away from Jenna Clark. It's the same for both teams out there.
Both teams will be grateful for the sanctuary of the dressing room in a few moments' time. Falk just biding her time there as Clark eventually plays it long into Olsen, but again Leicester getting players around the ball, but then almost given away by Neville. Here is Holland. Holland had Thomas in support, but she may look to go herself here. Here is Thomas, quickly closed down, and Thibault skying the clearance.
Holland just held on to the ball a little too long. Thomas had dropped out to create a bit of space for the pass.
Nicely done by Clark and Parry. McLean. Liverpool have the free kick, but they still had the ball. Thomas, player who was caught by Thibault.
Excellent from Thomas there again. She's putting her body on the line for her team. You see conditions coming into play again.
Enderby looking to make the move on the outside. Neville conceding the corner. And it's crucial for Leicester that they stand firm here.
Yeah, Neville looks frustrated there. She's speaking to the referee. Had to time that challenge perfectly. As you say, now this is so important. Dying seconds of the half now that they stay focused and defend this corner.
Holland will take it. Fisk makes the run towards the near post. Capox will rise and then volleyed towards goal by Bernabé. It wasn't too far away. Just needed a bit more fade on that.
Yeah, technically she executed it. Couldn't keep it on target. Here it falls really nicely to her. Just can't keep it on target.
We've gone beyond the 4 minutes. And that is half-time. Liverpool with the early goal from Pieter Olsen. But they've not been able to build on it despite dominating large areas of the play. And Leicester City have not really created a clear-cut chance so far. And that needs to change in the second half if they're to avoid Liverpool pulling further clear away from them. Half-time, Liverpool 1, Leicester City 0. Rachel Williams will get the second half underway. And Leicester City trailing by a goal to 0. get us back underway. In very difficult playing conditions, they're in the dark blue shirts, defending the goal away to our right. Bernabe will take the throw in for Liverpool. Jenna Scalacci, you feel Leicester have got to score the next goal in the game?
Yeah, next in goal's huge. I think Leipzig's pulled off that huge save to keep her team still in with a chance. But yeah, Leicester, they've got to offer more. The next goal has to come from them. They've got to find that creative spark. And it doesn't have to be pretty. These conditions, you know, you've got to take a risk, take a punt, and you don't know what's going to happen. It's the type of conditions where mistakes will happen.
Fisk. Now Holland. Liverpool have been the much more expansive team, which is maybe understandable. Enderby. Capox. They've got so many attacking players on the field today.
I think for all the attacking players they've got on the field, I think defensively and off the ball, they've been absolutely fantastic. And that's been led from the front, from Martha Thomas, Olsen, that press. They've got right on so many occasions, and then every single player is putting an absolute shift in. And in, you know, these relegation battle games, that's what you need. You can't afford to carry any players. You've got to fight for every ball, track back, make every run, and we're seeing that from Liverpool for sure.
And Lucy Parry will take the throw in here. Clark, now Parry again. And this is a Liverpool team without Shimazu, Nagano and O'Sullivan. Players like Parry have come in and looked the part so far. McLaughlin wins that back from Thomas, but again it's a risky ball across the midfield. Holland, Bernabe, all the way back to Jennifer Falk. Clark. Enderby, that's a smart turn away from Neville, who rather sold herself. Thomas in plenty of space to the right. Olsen waits in the centre, but the cutback is deflected behind by Ale for a corner.
Yeah, Neville came flying out of nowhere there, didn't she? She couldn't get the brakes on, almost made it easy for Enderby to get away from her. And then here she drives in, the run from Thomas out wide, and Ale comes back to recover and protect that space that Neville left.
Liverpool corner, and Fisk and Clark are forward again. Holland will deliver this. And again, it's a good delivery. Neville just about gets something on it before O'Brien clears. Parry going all the way back to Falk. And the pitch here is holding up pretty well, considering there's been so much rain. Liverpool share this stadium with St Helens Rugby League Club, and the Super League season is now underway, but not too many signs of wear and tear. Holland. And Enderby just run off it by Thibault. Neville will take the throw in. Someone who really symbolised Tottenham's rise up the divisions. Now Capox looking to try and help keep Leicester in the Women's Super League this season. Liverpool have the throw in, which Parry will take again. And Leicester really just staying in the game at the moment, not too much more than that. Lehmann. It's almost given away, but Williams working hard to win it back.
It's a difficult place that Leicester find themselves in here, because yes, they need to go and get that goal, but in doing that they risk themselves opening up at the other end, and they can't afford to concede anymore. But at the minute I just need to see a little bit more fight from Leicester. You know, this is a huge game in their survival in this game, and they're not really seeing that much of that urgency or that spark or that fight yet.
Neville. Thibaut. Parry will allow that ball to run. Lehmann, though, looking to keep her honest. And a Cruyff turn and a nutmeg all in one there from Lucy Parry.
Oh, she does so well there. Lehmann standing strong and clever from Parry. She spots the positioning of Lehmann and just a little cheeky back heel through the legs, and she's off.
Not sure Alicia Lehmann will be putting that on her TikTok.
Definitely not.
Parry will take the throw in here. It's cleared away by Neville. Williams. Now Mailing. And again, it's a long, hopeful ball, and it's really difficult for players like Hannah Kane to get involved.
Yeah, and what they're doing, they're just giving the ball straight back when they're going for those long balls. Kane's so isolated. See, she's switched roles there with Williams, sitting back, sitting a bit deeper, pulling the strings, but she's so isolated up top.
Parry, oh, she's given the ball away. Here is Lehmann, just forced wide. Kane. She turns into trouble, and Parry is able to deal with the situation in the end.
And Parry will breathe a sigh of relief there. You see, she's forced to turn against her own goal. Doesn't get enough in it with the header, and Lehmann's there ready to pounce, but she recovers well and gets that vital touch that sends Lehmann wide. Allows her teammates a chance to recover, and yeah, she recovers well after that.
But Lucy Parry's picked up an injury problem here. Liverpool are certainly heading in to have words with Gareth Taylor, because neither side has really got going since half-time. A change of shirt for the referees at half-time. They were absolutely drenched during the first half. This is what happened to Parry. It was the first challenge with Kane, and then she cleared the ball away.
I don't know if it was that first challenge with Kane. She almost took a knee to the back of the calf. Quite a painful one, like a dead leg sensation. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
And Naomi Mouchon is preparing to come on. You can see that at the right of your picture there. So that will be a change for Leicester in attack. The young French under-23 international. And Ashley Neville has possibly got the word from the bench about a change in formation or a tweak here and there. Lucy Parry has come back from a thigh injury which disrupted her in the first half of the season. Should be very keen not to pick up another injury here, with Rita Shimizu currently absent. But it will be a goal kick in the end. Liverpool do have Gemma Bonner warming up as well. Arla. Now Thibault, Neville, Parry coming on just in time, but she doesn't look to be moving that well. Here is Lehmann, and she runs out of room.
Just a little too heavy from Neville there on the ball, but I think Leicester need to push Neville and Malin up a bit higher in those advanced positions to try and create something. Neville at Tottenham was often found in those advanced, positions, having impact at both ends of the pitch with goals and assists.
Clark trying to evade Williams, and she turns into trouble. McLaughlin. There's Parry to clear. And then Bernabé has been caught there by O'Brien. It will be a free kick.
Good play from Barnaby. Just cuts across. A Leicester City player who has to take a chug of the shirt.
Wilson looking to make the run in behind, but again, that's too long. And there's clearly tension out there as well, because both teams know the importance of this game, and of course Liverpool producing the constructive football to score the opening goal. Do you think Gareth Taylor may be slightly disappointed with what they've done since?
I think so. I think, they were by far the better team in the first half, and they created some good opportunities, and 1-0 is a very risky scoreline. And I think the longer it goes on at a 1-0, that's when you're really going to see the nerves kick in towards the end of the game. So yeah, I think they'll know that Leicester have a player like Mouchon on the bench who can come on, who's a really difficult player to defend against. She's very direct, she's very physical, and she's got an electric speed. So at 1-0, that's a really dangerous player to have to manage.
Here is Thomas. Now Enderby coming inside onto the left foot, and the nutmeg on Tierney, but Leicester will clear. Falk. Holland. Liverpool have got plenty of red shirts forward here. Cross in towards Thomas. It's deflected away by Neville. It'll come to Enderby to hit it, but it's a comfortable save for Leipzig.
Yeah, you expect Leipzig to make that save there. Ball falls kindly to Enderby. Just there. Olsen doing good defensive work, and then gets the power behind it, but it's straight at Leipzig.
And again, there's a problem here for Parry. And Liverpool have been warming up. Jenna Bonner, and she will come on now, and real disappointment for Lucy Parry. Gets her opportunity back in the starting lineup today, and she can't finish the game.
Yeah, really frustrating. Sad to see her come off. I thought she'd had a good game up until this point. Hopefully it's not as serious, and she just needs to come off, because as we said at the top of the show, you can't afford to be carrying any players out there. And in Bonnie, you've got an experienced leader across that back line for Liverpool, who will hopefully inject a bit of energy and leadership from the back line.
Somebody who's won WSL titles with the club, and now the change. Rachel Williams has played her hour, and Naomi Mouchon will come on to replace her. A player who had a nasty knee injury last season, but when she's been used in the current campaign, as you were saying, she's got something about her.
Yeah, really exciting talent. Really enjoy watching her. She makes an impact every time she's on the pitch, and when she's got the ball at her feet, 1v1, there's not many defenders that can keep up with her. So she's a real threat that Liverpool will need to be aware of.
Now McLean. I think Liverpool have gone to 3 at the back here. I think Bonner has slotted in as the left-sided central defender. And now the cross, and it's poured away by Leipzig. I think she was aware that Enderby was coming in at the far post and just made sure she did enough.
Yeah, I think it was a clever decision there from Leipzig in the end. The ball comes whizzing in. She makes no mistake, especially in these circumstances. If you're unsure, just clear it, and she does exactly that. Clears her line, strong parry out. Now they have a defender to corner to defend.
Kerry Holland will take this. Liverpool looking for the goal which would surely make this game a formality in the final half hour. But it doesn't come there. Leicester will be bringing on Missy Goodwin soon. She does have 3 career goals against Liverpool, as they look to change things up. Fisk finding Thomas, and she's won the corner kick off Neville.
Yeah, Thomas and Neville will be very familiar with each other from their time at Tottenham. But Martha Thomas, I think she's looked bright this afternoon, always being an option, always making herself available.
Martha Thomas scored the goal to take Tottenham to their only FA Cup final so far. And that was against Leicester.
That was against Leicester in the dying seconds.
Gary Holland will deliver this. And again, it's deep. Lights are going down. Fisk with the header, but the whistle has gone. And it's a free kick. There was a lot going on there around the goalkeeper.
Yeah, lots of red shirts, just smothering Leipzig.
Alicia Lehmann coming off, and Missy Goodwin replaces her. Goodwin played a couple of minutes against Manchester United after her recent injury problems.
She'll bring the energy there, Missy Goodwin. Box to box, energy. Good with the ball at her feet, the ability to pick out a pass, and they need that. They need a little bit of spark in that midfield area. The minute Liverpool are on top in those midfield battles.
Grace Fisk is now filling in as the right back. She will try and get forward here, but Enderby doesn't find her. And that early goal from Beata Olsen, still dividing the two sides here. Rick Passmore has thrown on more attacking players, but not really changed the shape of how his team is playing.
With Mouchon on the pitch now, if the players, defensive players, can recognise that Liverpool are playing through at the back and it might be on for the ball over the top, she's got the pace to be able to hurt.
Neville recovering her earlier error there. Goodwin. Tierney, but Mouchon was on her way, but it was well seen by Clark.
Clark's done absolutely everything right this afternoon. Not seen a lot of the ball, but seems to be in the right place at the right time, reading the ball so well, stepping in at the right time.
Well, it's the sort of day when Liverpool's defenders need to concentrate, because they're not having a huge amount to do, but often that's when things can often get a bit sloppy, but it's not happened so far in the game. Mouchon. And she's beaten Clark this time. Good win to the left, but Mouchon comes in field, and she continues here, but the shot does not test Falk.
It's almost like she was caught in two minds there. Mouchon, excellent, getting away from Jenna Clark in the middle of the pitch there, and then just drives infield, almost caught in two minds of whether she's going to lay it off to her teammate or take the shot, and in the end, nothing to trouble Falk at all, but if she connects better with that, keep it on target. That's the least you've got to do in those moments.
Capox. And now Clark. Neville's header in field. Tierney and McLaughlin. It was the right sort of idea to try and stretch the play and get Mouchon attacking in the wide area, but once again the ball was overhit.
Yeah, Kane had also made a run, opened up her body, opened up a bit of space on the right-hand side. But better from Leicester. A little bit more energy in there, which is what they need. And now they need to really test Falk. She's not been tested all game.
Kane hooks on, but there's nobody there. The rain is easing, but still miserable conditions for both teams. As Gemma Bonner brings it forward now. Came back to Liverpool after a spell in the United States with Racing Louisville. And Thibaut losing out initially to Bernabei. And the clearance goes straight back to Liverpool. Holland. Fisk. Now Capox. Enderby. Holland again. Maybe some room here. Thibaut's clearance, but it will come straight back. A good challenge by O'Brien on Holland. Liverpool do have the throw-in.
It is really strong challenge, and
she won the ball.
She did. Really great challenge. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. And you want to see that fight. You want to see that bite, that frustration. You got to be so important that that frustration doesn't boil over.
Well, Liverpool have got a free kick here, and it's a balancing act for Leicester. They need to be showing more aggression, but it's controlled aggression.
Absolutely, and here Malin going in a little bit too heavy, clipping the heels of Holland. It's a dangerous spot as well. Those situations, you just want to be sensible, be intelligent, just stand Holland up. No need to commit.
Holland will take this. Leicester have got everybody back defending. And again, it's deep from Holland, looking for Thomas, and a missed kick from Enderby. Now Holland again.
Excellent defending from Ashley Neville. She got in front of Martha Thomas. Vital header, vital clearance.
It's won back well here. Leicester do get the free kick. It was Mailing who managed to outmuscle Capox.
Yeah, a bit more about Leicester here now in this last 5-10 minutes. A bit more fight.
This was the header away by Neville. She had to make that, and then Enderby should have done better with the rebound.
See Liverpool in no real hurry at all, are they, to get the game real started?
Uriel Silag will be coming on soon, the Swiss international signed from Freiburg. Oh, and that was risky for Bernabei, but she managed to get the ball clear.
I think Liverpool, you mentioned it earlier, when you're not on the ball a lot in defence or the goalkeeper, it's easy to switch off, but they can't let their standards dip. They can't switch off for a second.
Mia Enderby made the goal. But Uriel Silag will come on now to replace her. Silag involved in 2 victories with Switzerland during the international break.
Great young talent, Silag. Made an impact every time she's been on the pitch for Liverpool so far. Great profile for a forward, can hold up, and again, like Mouchon, she's got that electric pace.
Well, Neville in trouble here, but she just about recovers. Thibaut into the final 20 minutes. One of the other teams involved towards the bottom, West Ham, they're at home to Manchester United on Wednesday. Of course, a couple of games moved due to the League Cup final. Chelsea also playing Brighton on Wednesday as well. So at the moment, Liverpool are moving above West Ham. Shellac. West Ham would be 2 points clear of Leicester, having both played 16 games. But if Liverpool can hold on here, there will be, I think, for the first time this season, really looking up the table. Rick Passmore knows his side are going to be in a real scrap here. Mouchon. Mouchon again, finding Tierney, and that's a good ball. O'Brien just forced wide by a first touch.
Can't get hold of it, it was bouncing. Just couldn't get it under control, and it allowed Holland to get in position and force her backwards.
Neville. And now Goodwin. Only one Leicester player inside the area. You can hear Rick Passmore shouting, get in the box. That's why Goodwin didn't deliver the cross, because there was no one to hit.
Yeah, and I think that's what they lacked in the first half, recognising when it's not on.
Now Mouchon, that's a good turn. The shot, does it take a deflection? Yes, it did. It's a corner.
As it goes through the legs of the defender. Better. It's a good first touch to get away from Clark, and then it was Thomas there doing her defensive duties, getting her body in the way.
Tierney will take this. Leicester's first corner of the game. And it's high and fisted away by Falk. Mouchon. Given the room to turn. Kane. Ale. And that's a good ball. Here's Goodwin. Oh, great challenge by Fisk. A goal-saving challenge from the Liverpool captain.
Yeah, fantastic from Grace Fisk there. Spotted the danger very early, got across. Here you see this moment there, times it perfectly and gets the block in. That was a real opportunity for Goodwin. Almost took a little bit too long. Fisk, fantastic block.
Goodwin coming short for the corner, but it's deep towards Neville and taken well by Falk.
Good from Falk. Liverpool there under probably the most pressure they've had all game from Leicester. Chance to take the sting out of that.
It's a tough run in for Leicester. They've got home games coming up following this against Villa and Brighton. Then they're away to both London City and Arsenal. They've got Chelsea at home and finish off back on Merseyside away to Everton.
Yeah, I mean, that is a real tough run of games, and then when you're looking at those games realistically, you've got to target the Aston Villa and Brighton games as, you know, games where they've got to get some points from them, because London City, real unpredictable at the minute. Arsenal and Chelsea, you probably write those games off.
Liverpool have still got to go to Goodison Park and play Everton in the final Merseyside derby of the season. As Leicester have a free kick here. And Liverpool's final two games are against Manchester City and Arsenal. But they've also got a home game with West Ham, which could be absolutely crucial at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Free kick here for Leicester. Tierney will take this. And it's very deep. But the clearance only drops to Mouchon. Liverpool having to defend in depth here. Kane, and that takes a deflection. But Falk is able to gather.
I think it had to be something special there from Kane. There was a sea of red shirts in front of her. In the end, all she can do is drill the ball into a red shirt.
Now Schillag stumbles, stays on her feet, and in the end the shot is wide. And it was Neville who went to ground to make the challenge, and Schillag did not take the opportunity to go down.
As Falk recognised the run of Schillag there, she gets in between Tybird and Neville. First touch takes her wide. But that's the danger she poses. It's always on. That ball over the top, she's got that pace to cause a bit of chaos across the back line.
O'Brien. Now McLaughlin. It's become a real scrap now. And it's won back well by Olsen. Schillag in support. Olsen challenged by Thibault. And a corner kick's being given.
Neville there, just caught flat-footed. Osland was alert to the ball. Drives into the box, and there you see Tybird uses her body almost to get in front. Usher Osland off the ball, just using her strength there.
Holland will take the corner again. A goal now would surely finish things off. And again she drives it, and it was Fisk who guided the header over the top.
I'm not sure she knew too much about that, Fisk. Got something on it. Gonna keep it on target.
Emma Janssen coming on now. Player who's missed the last couple of games, the Swede, Simon Rosengård. And she replaces Olivia McLaughlin. Leipzig clears. And then Mailing staying on her feet in the aerial duel, but Liverpool have the free kick. And there will be treatment. Kerry Holland, the player who's gone down.
Malin's holding her head as well. They're both in pain.
Gareth Taylor has seen his team hang on at times in the second half. That failure to get the second goal in the first half when they were on top has almost come back to bite them.
Absolutely, they certainly created chances. They had the opportunities to give themselves a bit of breathing space, but they haven't.
Kerry Holland is still receiving treatment. They will go through all of the regular checks.
Mailing keeps holding her head. I'm surprised nobody's checked on her either.
Spurs have equalised against Everton. Sidney Gupse has got the goal there, and Stina Blackstenius has doubled Arsenal's lead at London City Lionesses. They now lead by 2-0. Mailing very quickly got back to her feet. I think she'll go and check on Holland now. It was certainly a robust challenge. Liverpool won't want to lose Kerry Holland at this stage, but If there's any hint of concussion, she'll have to go off.
Yeah, big player to lose. 10 minutes to go. Game's starting to feel a bit uncomfortable. Liverpool losing a little bit of that control that they've had for so long.
No surprise that the goal from Blackstenius came from the bench, as she so often does. Still goalless between Aston Villa and Manchester City. And this is what happened between Holland and Mayling. Looked to be a genuine challenge for the ball from both of them.
Yeah, both players looking at the ball, and Holland's gone for the header and headed the side of Mayling. Painful one. Again, Mayling hasn't been checked. But good to see Holland back on her feet.
Well, again, she has been the creative hub for Liverpool today, as she so often is. But she won't take this free kick. Cornelia Capox will head over. Doesn't go beyond Janssen. Now Janssen plays a good ball forward. Goodwin. And Goodwin will try and get through here, but Falk quickly read her intention.
Yeah, moment of vulnerability there. Liverpool almost caught on the counter-attack, but good starting position, Falk, to come and be almost a sweeper keeper.
Well, Neville has lost out to Schillag. But now Tierney. Thibault. Schillag again causing problems. And she's won the ball back, and she will try and wriggle towards the penalty area. Neville has to concede the corner.
Yeah, Leicester
That all came from her endeavour.
Yeah, Leicester should never have Thibault, should never put herself in that position at all. I think in those moments, she just needs to hit it first time with her left foot. She's clearly not comfortable on it. Takes an extra touch with her right foot, and then Schillag pounces on her.
Kerry Holland back on the field and back on corner kick taking duties here. Liverpool really grinding this one out at the moment. And the corner goes straight behind. And it's been a game of very few clear-cut chances. Liverpool have had 11 shots, 3 on target. Leicester have had 9, but only 1 on target. Now Schillag. Had Olsen in space, but Schillag comes inside. Oh, McLean was looking for Olsen, but has given the ball away to Goodwin. But here it's Clark. Straight back to Goodwin. Mouchon. And Janssen. And there's still something in this for Leicester, if they can create one big chance. But now Capox. Oh, and Schillag was making the right sort of run, but Thibault was in the way. Bernabé. Capox. Now Olsen. It's been given away. McLean. Olsen. That's a good cross. The header is wide in the end from Martha Thomas.
The unchallenged Martha Thomas there. Ball played out wide to Olsen. Gets the cross in, and Thomas, there you can see, just trying to direct it into the opposite corner. Doesn't get enough of a connection, and it fizzes wide.
Everton have retaken the lead at Spurs. Kelly Gargo with 7 minutes to play. Now Mouchon. Mouchon was looking for the run of Kane, but in the end it's gathered by Falk. Leicester will look back on that chance for Goodwin. It's a really good covering challenge by Fisk. Neville. And Janssen. Here is Goodwin. And Fisk again. And Neville. She was strong in the challenge there with Olsen. And Liverpool have it back. Thomas. But there was no width.
It wasn't at all. The pass was never really on. You can see Oslan. For once, she hadn't made the run, but Thomas, I don't think she got her head up there. Wasteful from Liverpool.
Neville finding Mouchon. She heads into trouble. Olsen. Schillag. And that's a nice turn. And Schillag continues. Was she caught? Yes, she was. It's a penalty. Asmita Ali with the challenge. And Liverpool with the opportunity to seal the points here.
Ali, she had to time that perfectly. She didn't. There was definite contact in there. Great work from Schillag there. Really strong. Uses her body just to spin off. Great little touch away from Ali. Definite contact. Here you see it's this little touch here.
Oh, she knew as soon as she'd done it, it was a penalty.
Absolutely. Great play from Schillag.
Yellow card as well for Asmita Ali. And it's a penalty for Liverpool. And this is a big moment in the season for both clubs. Kerry Holland will take it. Yet to score in the Women's Super League this season. And if this goes in, Liverpool are 4 points clear of Leicester. Kerry Holland against Janina Leitzig. And Holland is being made to wait. And Holland can finish it here. And she does, with the help of the post. Crucial victory for Liverpool. And Leicester City's fears at the bottom of the table deepen.
Yeah, it was inch perfect. She was made to wait. It didn't faze her. Squeezed in off the post. There was going to be a player to step up for Liverpool after the performance she's put in today. It was going to be Holland, and such an important moment in Liverpool's survival for this season.
A team which looked destined to finish bottom for so long. But now there is clear daylight between themselves and Leicester City. Kerry Holland makes it 2-0. Leicester heading for their 5th successive defeat. And they'll be looking at the schedule and wondering and worrying where the points may come from. Here is Kane. And now Goodwin. Comfortable save for Falk.
She had time there, Goodwin. Goes first time, and no power in it really to trouble Falk. You can see there, almost hurried again, panicked in that last moment, that last piece of quality that has lacked for Leicester this afternoon.
Neville with the challenge on Olsen. It will be a Liverpool throw-in. Fisk will look to play in Capox, but it's gone behind. And as we tick into added time, it is time for you to give us your player of the match.
Yeah, I think for me, Holland, I think that moment there is huge for Liverpool's season. high-pressure moment. She's been at the heart of everything from Liverpool this afternoon, got the assist and then stepped up when her team needed it the most, kept her composure, and perfect penalty. So Holland player of the match.
And here's an opportunity now for Thomas, but she drags the shot wide. And that was the opportunity to really make the scoreline emphatic.
And she's claiming it took a deflection off of Ale. Play from Martha Thomas again. Finds herself in space. Little touch past the defender, and there you can see claiming for the deflection. Great feet. Ale again comes out. Does enough.
First sight of Anna Ljusendal in the Women's Super League for Liverpool. Beata Olsen makes way, and the Norwegian international comes on. And Liverpool are doing what they have to do here, heading for a win and a clean sheet.
Huge, and I think you've got to say they've been the better team from the start. Gareth Taylor's set his team up brilliantly. The subs that have come on have had an impact, and defensively I think they've been excellent as well. That work rate off the ball that sometimes goes unnoticed, I think especially from those players across the attacking line, they put an absolute shift in.
O'Brien in towards Kane, but she was crowded out, and Fisk will bring the ball away. We are 2 minutes into 8 added. Liverpool convinced they should have had a free kick there. It was Ljusendal who was involved. Now O'Brien. And Holland, a lovely play from her. Schillag is the only player in support at the moment. Capox looking to join her. Ali eventually concedes the throw-in.
She looks like she's starting to tire now. She's covered every blade of grass, hasn't she? Took that knock to the head, but what a moment for her, and how big that second goal could be now in terms of confidence and momentum going into the dying stages of this season, those last games.
Liverpool at Brighton next week. Then they've got the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park, and then Charlton, the leaders of WSL 2 in the quarter-finals of the Women's FA Cup. Schillag. It's helped on by Tierney. But if you're West Ham, are you starting to worry now? They're not playing today, but they've got a difficult game coming up in midweek, and now the gap between themselves and the bottom is only 2 points, as it's given away by Falk, and Tierney sends it over the top.
Good vision, Tierney. She's got to take it. She's got an attempt. She takes the shot, and it comes crashing off the top of the net. And Falk there trying to play out from the back. Tierney in the right place, but can't get the execution right. I've got to say, yeah, for West Ham, of course, they'll be watching on today. This is a huge game. They're probably watching from their sofas, and yeah, the pressure's back on. They're getting dragged back into it, aren't they? I think for them, that obviously United are playing today, whereas they've obviously got a little longer to prepare for that game midweek.
Bonner will clear away. Mailing will take the throw-in. And Liverpool are a side now who do look capable of picking up more points and heading further up the table. They're 4 points behind Brighton as things stand, and of course they play them next week. But there's a whole group of teams from London City Lionesses down who Liverpool may consider to be in range if they can get on a decent run. But in the short term, it is all about building a gap between themselves and bottom place, and that's what they're doing. And Leicester may soon have to contemplate a trip to a WSL 2 club in form for a one-game playoff to try and stay in the league.
Which you never really want to rely on at all, because those teams in the Championship are, you know, they're full-time outfits now. They're very good quality teams, and, you know, it's a one-off game and anything can happen. So you would never want to leave that and rely on that to secure your spot in the WSL at all. And I think the difference that you'll have if they do find themselves in the position is that the team they're coming up against is winning, is full of confidence, whereas it's so difficult to dig out results when you just don't have that confidence, belief, or, you know, momentum going into the games.
Arla. Bonner will clear. Malian will take the throw in. Leicester have got 2 home games coming up, and really they need to take something from both of them. Tierney. And then the cross in is met by Clark. And now Fisk away from Neville. And Uzendaal can bring it forward here for Liverpool. Shilag. And now Neville. Goodwin. And Fisk. And Arsenal have beaten London City Lionesses 2-0. And Everton have won at Spurs 2-1. Holland. Maybe one final chance here for Liverpool. Bernabe. Bonner. Well, that's a good ball. Shilag makes the run to the near post, and it's a good clearance in the end from Thibaut.
Timo trapped the run of Shilag there every step of the way. Really, really good block. Well timed as well. That's such a difficult ball to defend in the box when you're facing your own goal. It could go anywhere, but she's done well there.
Well, this could be the final chance. And Anna Uzendaal will come over to take this. It's finished 0-0 between Aston Villa and Manchester City. But the Liverpool supporters have seen their team extend their unbeaten home run to 6 games. And the corner is scuffed, but that's it. A 4-point gap between Liverpool and Leicester City now at the foot of the Women's Super League table. Beata Olsen with the early goal in the first half. And then Kerry Holland sealing it with a penalty in the final moments. Liverpool, a team heading in the right direction, but at the moment, Leicester rooted to the bottom of the WSL table. Full time, Liverpool 2, Leicester City 0. And Jenna Schillaci, from the moment Liverpool scored the opening goal, they were pretty much in control.
They were. I thought they started off, you know, got the early goal, and then they just couldn't capitalise on that and stretch that lead. But I think, as you say, from start to finish, they were in total control. I think the game plan, the squad that Gareth Taylor put out was spot on, sacrificed that defensive security and added in terms of the attack, and it paid off today. I thought On the ball, fantastic, but for me what really stood out was the work rate off the ball from every single player on that pitch. They carried no one, and that's the type of performance they needed.
And if you're Rick Passmore, how do you lift Leicester now with 2 home games coming up?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, it's real tough, and they didn't really create too many chances at all. You saw some moments of magic throughout the game, but it's not enough. I think the positives they can take is that they're at home for the next 2. They've got their fans behind them, but they're going to have to dig deep, and they're going to have to show a lot more fight out there.
Gareth Taylor will be delighted. And those Liverpool supporters who have stuck with their team through some difficult days in the first half of the season, and now seeing them heading in the right direction. And I'm sure Gareth Taylor is making the point that there are still plenty of games to come, plenty of points to play for.
Absolutely, and you know, they're not safe yet by a long shot. There's obviously West Ham in and around them. They've still got games to play, and they can't take their eye off the ball. They have to go into every game like they have today. Every point, every game counts now.
Rick Passmore, I'm sure, will be making the point to his team that there are still points to play for, and you've got to keep fighting, seems to be the message.
Yeah, you've got to fight for that badge on your shirt. You can't carry anyone. You've got to fight for every ball, every recovery run. You've got to be brave at the same time as well, which is so difficult when you're in a position like that. You know, do you sit back, defend? But you can't. You need to get up the other end of the pitch and sacrifice bodies forwards and commit and believe in the process. But they're in such a difficult position now. There's no hiding from that.
But Liverpool have a lot to look forward to. They're still in the quarter-finals of the Women's FA Cup, and their status in the Women's Super League looks a good deal more secure now than maybe it did at kick-off time, with a handy gap between themselves and the bottom. Kerry Holland, the Barclays Player of the Match, once again showing her value to this team and scoring her first goal of the league season as well. Liverpool with their 3rd victory of the campaign. The crucial thing is it has come against their main rival at the bottom, and they've now really drawn West Ham United into the struggle as well. Jennifer Falk is able to celebrate with one of our youngest and closest fans. And let's hear from our player of the match now, Kerry Holland, talking to Steve Bennett.
Kerry, imagine you're running out of places to put these trophies.
Yeah, no, it's obviously just nice to get the win. That's the most important thing for the team, and a really positive performance again at home. It was a little bit scrappy, but we knew what the game meant, and yeah, really happy to get the win.
Yeah, how important is this victory for your side?
Yeah, no, I think every game's important right now, obviously the position we're in, but yeah, no, obviously we didn't mention it before the game, but there was a little bit of added pressure due to where they were, so yeah, no, really happy and just happy to get it over the line.
That's a 4-point gap now between the bottom place, which is Leicester. What was the message from Gareth in the huddle there?
Yeah, just the game was what it was. It was probably a little bit more. We just needed to compete and react well today and win the duels. It wasn't probably the prettiest game to watch. So, no, look, I think just really happy to get the win, and obviously it's an important victory for us.
Kerry, congratulations. You are the Barclays Player of the Match.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And well deserved. Kerry Holland, so often the player who creates the goals for Liverpool, scoring the clinching one here today. And here are the full-time highlights. And Liverpool scoring the opening goal in the 10th minute. The cross from Enderby, and well finished by Beata Olsen, her 10th of the season. A sweeping counter-attack, and Liverpool with a team containing players that Leicester didn't really have today in terms of attacking pace. Kerry Holland, of course, was part of that, and her shot was deflected there, and it forced an excellent save from Janina Leitzig before the rebound was sent too high by McLean. But Kerry Holland was always such a threat down the left-hand side, and really, Jenna, with players of that quality, Liverpool should not really be in the position they're in, should they?
They shouldn't be, and it's in these moments, in these games like today, where, you know, they're key and they step up and they make the difference, and Holland did exactly that tonight.
Alessa Lehmann with a chance there at the near post, but the flick not quite getting the distance. Into the second half, Leicester's best opportunity, really. Missy Goodwin wriggling into space, but it was Grace Fisk with a great challenge.
Yeah, unbelievable challenge there, and you see her teammates getting around her, celebrating like it was a goal.
And then Uriel Shilak finding space in the area. She was taken down by Asmita Ale, and the referee, Megan Wilson, had no doubts it was a penalty and a yellow card for Ale.
It's great play from Chilag. That touch there invited Ale in, and she made the challenge.
Kerry Holland made no mistake from the penalty spot. Just kissing the inside of the post, and that made it 2-0. Still one final chance. Sam Tierney from the poor clearance from Falk, but that was too high. Leicester's lack of goals continues to be a real issue for them. Another blank sheet here today. Only 8 so far this season. That has to change, but Liverpool almost made it 3-0. Good challenge by Julie Thibault to deny Uriel Shilak, but 2-0 is how it finished. And elsewhere today, the leaders dropping points, 0-0 for Manchester City at Aston Villa. Arsenal winning 2-0 at London City Lionesses, thanks to Olivia Smith and Sina Blackstenius. And Kelly Gargo with the late winning goal for Everton at Spurs. The games involving Chelsea and Manchester United will be played on Wednesday, because they meet each other in the League Cup final today. And here is the table. So Manchester City 9 points clear of Manchester United, who do now have a game in hand following City's draw today. Arsenal are 4th in the table, just opening a gap between themselves and Spurs, and they've got a game in hand on both Arsenal and Manchester United as well. And at the bottom, West Ham dropping below Liverpool in the table. Liverpool now 4 points clear of Leicester City. If Leicester remain where they are, it will be a relegation playoff against the 3rd place team in Women's Super League 2. But Kerry Holland, a key player for Liverpool here today, and she got the goal that mattered in their 2-0 victory against Leicester City. Hope you enjoyed the game. From Jenna Scalacci and myself, Nigel Adderley, it's goodbye.